Hello everyone and welcome back to Warped Worlds, welcome back to Planet Coaster. I guess it's been about 3 or 4 months since I last uploaded a video in this game, so yeah, it's been a while, but I thought we'd get back into it now I've had a bit more free time and try and cover up some of these ugly bits and fill in the sort of missing parts of this area. So we're putting in a couple of facades, and then I decided we could squeeze all the footage from doing the back part of this building and the facades there as well into this video because it's not too long. I've cut a few of the boring bits out, and to be honest this is probably going to be quite a short commentary today, and mainly just time lapse because there's not an awful lot really to say about this build without just rambling and going on and on about what pieces I'm using and why. So I just thought I'd give it a bit of an introduction really, and I guess yeah, I'll talk for as long as I can until I run out of things to say on this build. That's the thing with Planet Coaster, as you know, and as we say every time, everything takes time to build in this game, so it's very slowly coming together, this first area, and I'm getting a bit of fatigue with it, so I might jump over and do something else like the entrance building or something like that in the next one, because really I feel like this is quite a repetitive theme to build with and quite a repetitive area to build. So yeah, for this first bit then I am doing a sort of circular building with a dome on top. I thought that would be nice to break up all the blocky buildings that we've got on this row. So yeah, just using various different pieces, seeing what worked and what didn't, and it looks like I ended up using just pretty standard small bracket pieces to make the dome itself, and then using this nice decor piece for a bit of a trim around it. Nothing too spectacular here, and then it's just a rounded entrance, and this is actually the bit where the coaster train will come out once it has its little indoor section, or the station flyby I suppose it is, before it goes into the final helix and the brake run. So yeah, I made it quite tight, but I think I have checked on the POV and everything to make sure that there's enough clearance for it to get through this little door. So yeah, it looks like it's all fine. I don't know, I'd probably, in real life it'd probably have a little bit more clearance than that. So if you stick your arms out too far you'll probably lose them, but for the sake of the game I think it's fine. And then just finishing off the bottom bit, rotating some pillars and sticking a door and a couple of windows on. Nothing too fancy at all there really. A lot of these buildings are quite basic actually as well. Yeah, using quite basic elements. I did go for a little bit more of an Art Deco look with this one as well. We've put some sort of neon lights round the top as well, which I think is going to look pretty cool in the nighttime lighting as well. Give it a bit more of a bright and vibrant sort of city feel. But with the actual walls and buildings themselves, I am trying to keep them dark and grey and sort of, yeah, very industrial, like I suppose, like an industrial city, if that makes any sense. Like things were, I guess, back in the 1920s, where this is supposed to be. So yeah, having to go behind a little bit there and do some things to make sure nothing's clipping through. That's another tricky thing here. Doing these facades, I couldn't make anything sink too far into the walls because you can see it on the other side. So we've got that lovely coaster station with the interior. I didn't want anything to poke through. That's mainly affected in the next building. You'll see a bit more of that. But we cut out the rest of this one really. And you'll see that I've just put a canopy, a cover sort of thing over the door and a few dirt decals, and that's it really. So for this one I tried to do a fancy custom. archway over the track. Didn't work. Couldn't find the right pieces to do it how I wanted, so I just used an in-game one, which is good really anyway because it saves on piece count, and then just added a little bit of detail to it. Played around with a couple of different ideas, rotating things like this. Didn't think that really looked very good, so got rid of it. And yeah, left it quite plain in the end. Just sunk a couple of these pieces in for a tiny little bit of detail there that you're barely going to notice, but yeah, I think it's just a nice to have a custom touch sometimes. And yeah, really this is just a case of covering up this section. It's none of these buildings are supposed to be anything in particular. That will come later in today's build, where we actually put a bank in and a chocolatier and a few sort of believable shop front facades. And again, I'm trying to be cautious on piece count and stuff like that. We're already racking up quite a lot of pieces when it comes to doing the custom curved sections, like with the dome and everything like that. Obviously, it takes up a lot more pieces. So yeah, trying to save on piece count in other areas to make up for it, kind of thing. So this actually is quite a good example of that, where I don't use too many pieces at all. We make a custom pillar using 4 different pieces, I guess, using a pillar and some deco pieces next to it just to make it look a bit different from the normal pillar. And then I use very, very plain windows. And to start with, I wasn't sure if I liked that or not, so I ended up sinking them in a bit and then putting some custom sort of brickwork or plasterwork or whatever around the edge so that they're sunken in. It doesn't make a huge amount of difference, but the end result with this one actually looks surprisingly good, because I wasn't really feeling it at all while I was building it. But once it's complete, yeah, I'm happy with the end result. Sorry, just take a sip of drink there. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this one. We're using some round pillars at the bottom as well. Like I say, that's why I wasn't going to do a long commentary on this video, because a lot of it will just tend to be rambling, which there's not a lot of point to at all, really. Just where I sort of adjust a few minor details. And yeah, I stick a sign on the front saying Royal Arcades, so that it's because obviously inside this is the interior for the arcades, so it makes sense. Like the shopping arcade type thing we've got. And that's it. I didn't feel the need to add any more detail to that building, really. I have cut out some of the footage there as well, so you'll see the final product in the cinematics at the end. And we move on to the back facades. And I had to be very careful here not to cut through the wall. Basically, where the wall is my limit to how far back things can go, or at least I thought it was to start with, but then I realised that the coaster stations raise quite a bit off the ground, so we were able to sink a few things into the wall where need be, and yeah, worked out quite well. So this is the facade for the bank, which is the central sort of building of the 3 facades that we get in here, and yeah, it's fairly simple, again using minimal pieces to not go crazy with the piece count, but getting a nice level of detail on there as well. This isn't sort of a prime area of the park, so it's just somewhere that people will probably just be walking past. Might put a small seating area nearby or something. I'm not really sure what to do with this area after this is finished. I feel like this might be the back of the park as well. So really, you know, the back of this building could have just been facing onto a staff area, but the problem is there's not really that far for the guests to walk around this area, and I want the layout to make sense. So I think we might shove a ride at the back or something. I haven't really planned for it at the moment, to be honest. I'm just trying to cover up all these buildings and work on what we've already got, because it's already taking up quite a large area, and that's what I really struggle with in this game, actually getting the layout. your coasters should always be at the back of the park. But I've sort of stuck this one in the middle of the themed area, which I think is fine as well, but it means that you end up having to do a lot more facades than you'd otherwise need to do, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, I think I'm just going to leave the time-lapse playing now without the commentary. There's 2 more facades going in for a couple more shop fronts, and that's all there is to it really. So hopefully I will do some sort of Christmas build before Christmas now, if I've got time. It's only a week away, so I'm going to have to rush something out if so. So there might not be one, so if not, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. But yeah, I will see you all in the next build, so thank you for watching. Bye bye.